فقد ظهر بالوثائق أن هذا العدوان لاحتلال المنطقة.
Osama bin Laden is believed to be hiding out there. Islamic fundamentalism is on the rise.
There is a great deal of feeling against the United States' actions in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and this has translated into support for the Taliban.
Children learn to hate America at an early age.
America is cruel toward the Muslims, and they are cruel to our brothers in Afghanistan.
More than a third of the country lives below the poverty line. All of this, and they have nuclear weapons too.
We are sitting on a volcano. It can erupt any time.
Tonight, Pakistan on the edge.
From ABC News. This is Nightline. Reporting from Washington, Ted Koppel.
We in the news media are terrific at reacting to a crisis. Give us a serial killer rampaging through 7 states or a horrifying new disease that's afflicting a few thousand people, and we're all over it. We're pretty good at covering wars, at least in their initial stages. We're not bad at dealing with the consequences of terrorism or any other violent crime. Anything that is new and frightening is right down our alley. Where we tend to let you down is when something frightening has been going on for a long time. We start to lose interest. The drug trade in Colombia is as bad as it's ever been. Somalia is still a disaster. So is the Congo, but we've moved on. Where we are even less effective is in stimulating your interest in places you should be worried about, but haven't focused on yet. A few months ago, I asked a senior foreign policy specialist in the Bush administration what he considered the most dangerous place in the world. Without hesitation, he named Pakistan. Pakistan? Not North Korea, not Iran, charter members of the president's axis of evil, but Pakistan. That, we thought, is something you probably should hear about, preferably before a major disaster happens there. So we asked my Nightline colleagues, producers Jay LaMonica and Rebecca Lipkin, and correspondent Dave Marish, to investigate the factors that make Pakistan such a dangerous place.
For the past decade, Pakistan has been one of the world's capitals of terrorism. Targets have included the American consulate in Karachi, a busload of French defense workers, a Christian church, and Islamic religious sites, both Sunni and Shiite. Pakistan today is a country filled with people armed to the teeth and divided along any number of lines. The deepest divide is over the nature of Pakistan. Is it a modern secular state populated mostly by Muslims, or a religious state governed by fundamentalist principles of Islamic law? Divisions over this question start at the top, in the most powerful institution in the country, the armed forces.
There's no doubt that there is a significant element within the Pakistan military that is anti-modern, anti-secular, anti-West, and perhaps a dominant element which is very opposed to Pakistan's having taken a U-turn on the Taliban. And yes, there is hostility to the US in the army.
And Pakistan has built nuclear weapons and missiles that can deliver them up to 2,000 miles. No wonder so many analysts consider Pakistan potentially the most dangerous country on earth. The prime target of Pakistan's nuclear weapons is its neighbor India. The likely flashpoint, the disputed territory of Kashmir. Just months ago, India and Pakistan were yet again on the brink of nuclear war.
We don't want war, but if war is thrust upon us, we would respond with full might.
We've somehow become fatalistic about the whole thing. To my mind, That makes it all the more dangerous. The more one plays on the brink, the less one is sensitized to the dangers of nuclear conflict. And these dangers are very real.
To ordinary Pakistanis, daily life is full of deadly danger. Take these primitive furniture factories in a working-class neighborhood in the city of Lahore. When we drove up, paint sprayers were filling the air with fumes associated with asthma, cancer, and other diseases. But by the time our cameras were out, the sprayers had been replaced by paintbrushes. Neighborhood activist Aga Shahzad told us, "Don't be fooled." 5 minutes after we left, he predicted, the sprayers and their toxic fumes would be back, suffusing homes and 3 schools on the block.
You will see the complaints they were filed in 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003.
And when people complain?
They give something to people. We will see, we will talk, we will throw them out, we will seal their shops. Nothing is going to happen in Pakistan.
The furniture factories are protected by corrupt politicians who combine with Pakistan's daily poverty to produce a state that fails its citizens every day in almost every way.
The services are in shambles. You look at the electricity breakdowns, the communication, the roads, sanitation, law and order.
The essence of corruption in Pakistan is all the things that money can buy. If you're rich enough to live in a home like that one, your money can buy you not just status and stuff, but a virtual exemption from all of the responsibilities of citizenship and all the restraints of law and justice.
The rich get away with everything, including murder. And this is actually why the failure of the legal system has been a great impetus towards the Islamization of the society, because the religious parties, the religious authorities, they promise justice.
But a minister in the government of the province of Baluchistan, a member of the religious political alliance, the MMA, admits something other than corruption has pushed his coalition to power in 2 provinces.
The Islamic parties never had such a majority in history. It was because of America's undemocratic attitude and inhumane attitude towards the Muslim world.
This mosque in Rawalpindi has a reputation as moderate. Imam Jamil-ur-Rahman's sermon at Friday prayers was on the mild topic, your conduct is influenced by the company you keep. Does Pakistan keep good company when it becomes the ally of the United States government?
History gives us evidence that America was never any good to Pakistan. They are only interested in their own interests.
The Imam's congregation seems to agree.
All America wants to do is dominate others.
They don't care anything about Pakistan.
They want to dominate all the countries of Muslims. And they want to demolish all the Muslim countries. And that's not fair for our Muslims.
You can't go wrong in Pakistani politics by beating up on the USA.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you by IBM.
I think you should see this. It's just a kid. Homo habilis was the first to use tools.
This is a G chord.
He's learning, absorbing. He's getting smarter every day.
A player who makes a team great is more valuable than a great player.
We've always watched the stars. If you look at the sky, you can see the beginning of time.
Collecting data is only the first step toward wisdom, but sharing data is the first step toward community.
Chaos theory. Everything's about timing, kid.
Poetry.
Aeronautics.
Plumbing. What he learns, we all learn. What he knows, we all benefit from.
Faster, better, cheaper.
Speak your mind. Don't back down.
Does he have a name? His name is Linux.
Friday.
You said that you were ripe for the plucking.
Here we go again.
You have not had sex for a whole year.
It's a brand new supercharged interview with Angelina Jolie. 2020 Friday.
different. Then you build a family of cars that helps make them all the same. The 2004 Volvos with electronically controlled all-wheel drive.
Mom, yesterday, Tina took her first steps. Isn't that amazing?
I didn't know Maytag made ovens.
And not just any oven, but the biggest one ever. The new Maytag range has the largest capacity you can get with room for a turkey and 4 sides. The new Maytag oven, big enough for all your baking needs. There's never been a better time to buy a Maytag.
Maytag, depend on us. At the Maytag store just off I-5 in Linwood, or the Maytag store in South Center across from the mall.
The governor of Baluchistan province blames the American military for the fact that his capital city, Quetta, is drowning in the products of cross-border smuggling. From Afghanistan come refugees, guns, and more than in recent years, the raw materials for a narcotics epidemic.
There's a huge amount of poppy cultivation on the Afghan side. We expect something like over 4,000 tons of heroin to be produced now.
Moving in the other direction, from Pakistan to Afghanistan, more guns and fighters, jihadis they're called, rallying to the side of the Taliban. If you think of the Taliban jihad in Afghanistan as a river which this summer has filled once again to a dangerous level, neighborhoods like this one on the Pakistani side of the border are the reservoir from which those waters flow. The students who study the Quran at this Quetta religious school called a madrasa learn to recite the words in Arabic, a language they do not understand. Some of them, like the boy Hamidullah, interviewed on Nightline 2 years ago by correspondent Bob Woodruff, also make speeches they can barely comprehend.
I'm telling the Americans, listen, he said, we will gouge out their eyes with our fingers.
The speech that you gave at the rally, did you memorize that? Did you learn that by heart?
The words, the gestures, everything.
2 years later, Hamidullah chants his Quran every day, but still understands no Arabic. Certainly there's been no change in 2 years in Hamidullah's politics.
America is cruel toward the Muslims, and they are cruel to our brothers in Afghanistan and to Osama bin Laden.
When you grow up, are you going to go on jihad? Would you like to fight for the Taliban?
God willing, we are all going to go.
Cannon fodder, that's what these boys are to become. From the testimony of recently captured fighters in Afghanistan, they go from the madrasa classroom to the caves of eastern Afghanistan to the battlefield with little training, and sometimes even without weapons. We were told the youngsters about to graduate from a second Quetta madrasa represent something different. But moments after our cameras set up, the speaker switches from academic celebration to political excoriation. America has stopped worshiping God and has started worshiping Bush, the mullah proclaimed. Muslims, do not take the Jews or the Christians as your friends. They are your enemies. This is the order of God. Shortly after that, we were ordered to stop taping and leave. It's one of the few moments we were happy to have the large, heavily armed security force, which the government had insisted surround us for our entire visit to Quetta. The Pakistani government put Madrasa Mutla ul Ulum on our schedule. Headmaster Hafiz Khalil Ahmed told us it was among Pakistan's oldest and most respectable religious schools. In 61 years, he told us, we have not had a single graduate join Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, or any terrorist group. We are for peace, he told us. Unfortunately, his classrooms told us something else. We should all be ready for jihad all the time, the teacher said. Yes, we are ready for jihad. Among those specifically cited for jihad support, none other than Mullah Muhammad Omar, the leader of the Taliban. Jihad is not preached, hate not fomented in all madrasas. But our experience suggests that both ideas predominate in a madrasa system that has grown from 2,000 schools in 1987 to an estimated 13,000 today. The explosive growth of the madrasa movement can be explained in part by the pull of militant Islam, but even more so by the push from a Pakistani public school system frequently described as catastrophic. This, for example, is considered a model school despite its meager resources. And then there's the nexus of education and corruption, the ghost schools.
Ghost schools are those which take resources from the government, but which have neither students nor teachers. And according to General Musharraf, I heard him 3 years ago, he said there are 20% ghost schools in Pakistan, which if you multiply by 170,000 makes it about something like 30,000 ghost schools in this country, which is an abomination.
Ironically, some of the best schools in the world are in Pakistan, but they're private. They accept the children of the rich and powerful, and by and large offer no scholarships. Educational apartheid, Professor Hoodboy calls it. But Pakistan's education minister says better things are coming, perhaps represented by this impoverished school being rebuilt and expanded with American aid pumped in after 9/11.
Now we have more and more money for education and health, and that is why now the whole opportunities and opening up of appointments of teachers is going to happen.
I am a girl. I am a girl.
Few students, parents, or educators seem to share the minister's optimism. They worry that Pakistan's future is being created in the image of its turbulent past.
Just stop. Give that old friend a rest. Let's go to Staples.
Shopping for office products at Staples is so easy there's no need to put it off. We've got everything you need, online catalog or in store. Staples, that was easy.
Checkup, booster shot, and lollipop, $110. Your brother's turn. Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For back-to-school stuff, there's MasterCard.
GMC Sierra Extended Cab with more standard V8 horsepower than the new Ford F-150. Try as they might, they still can't catch us. Professional grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
When eyes get dry, scratchy, irritated, Visine Tears can soothe, moisturize, and protect like your own natural tears. And it's safe to use as often as you need. Visine Tears relieves dry eyes like your own natural tears.
The dental experts at Oral-B are on a mission to protect your teeth and gums. Their ultimate weapon? The new Oral-B Professional Care 7000, the world's most advanced power toothbrush. With a compact round head like dentists use, its unique pulsing 3D action cleans below the gum line, preventing and even reversing gum disease. Mission accomplished. The new Oral-B Professional Care 7000. Brush like a dentist.
Co-host Bob Odenkirk and I welcome Al Michaels from CSI Miami, Sophia Milos, and Las Vegas legend Cook E. Jar. Got it!
Jimmy Kimmel Live, coming up.
Ask anybody,
believe that Toyota had 5 different SUVs to choose from. It was a tough choice, but the V8 4Runner is awesome. I can take it anywhere. 4Runner is the most high-tech sports utility ever made. And you got Toyota quality. You can't beat that.
Ask anyone who's driving one how great Toyota is.
Value begins with Toyota quality. See your nearest Toyota dealer now.
The sound of Islamist politics in Pakistan. The opposition in the National Assembly, disrupting discussion of President Musharraf's political agenda by slamming desktops and shouting chants of "No Musharraf." The battle between the religious parties and Pakistan's secular majority is being played out everywhere, from the halls of government to the streets. This defaced woman is a casualty in Pakistan's cultural war. To paint across her face a token of militant Islamist objections to a woman put on public display. You can find such splatter wounds across Pakistan, but the defaced women are outnumbered hundreds to one by unblemished billboards featuring smiling women selling everything from coffee to soft drinks to the latest in home entertainment technology. There's nothing like this in the Northwest Frontier Province and its capital, Peshawar, where videos showing women's faces have been publicly burned. Women have been out of the picture since the MMA, the Islamic Political Alliance, won a majority in the local legislature. Women are not on posters or billboards.
We haven't imposed any restrictions on the billboards, but it's the people who are paying respect.
Provincial political power Sardar Mohammed Idris admits representatives of his party have met with advertisers and passed on to them the, quote, wishes of the people and the advisability of heeding them.
We appreciate that they're not using the women in advertising, the faces of women you can't see. And this is, we respect all companies that they're respecting the values of the people.
Many of the biases that are prevalent in the religious right are there in parts of our culture also.
Shayla Zia, one of Pakistan's first female law school graduates, admits restrictions on the display of women or on opportunities for women are popular among many Pakistanis. The rise of Islamist political parties like those in the MMA, she says, threatens to institutionalize many biases against women.
What happens later down the line, we do not know, but certainly the MMA has a very clear official policy of segregation, both in workplaces as well as in educational institutions.
Segregation in Pakistan is separation that is in no sense equal. Even in the red light district of Lahore, where painter Iqbal Hussain has his restaurant Cuckoos, when the so-called wishes of the people are pressed, there's no mistaking the meaning.
My life is on risk. Any minute, anybody can come and just shut me down.
Hussain is rich and famous and notorious because his paintings are soaked in the reality of his neighborhood, of singers and dancers and prostitutes. But it was another representation of a woman, a wooden sculpture, that brought an ultra-religious group to his door with a threat.
And he said, look, Mr. Palosan, you have a very nice gallery, and this is Islamic country, and I'll suggest you to immediately this sculpture out of the sight of this. We can't tolerate that. So I got the message.
The restaurant is still open, and many sculptures remain on display inside. And Hussein's gallery does prove he still paints who and how he wants. But the artist has taken on a literally fatalistic view of the battle between modern sophistication and militant Islam.
If I'm gone down, if I'm dead for a little while, so it doesn't make any difference to that. So one has to go for it. I'm ready for it.
Another battleground in Pakistan's cultural war, the campus of Punjab University in Lahore. Islamist pressure here forced an investigation of the Department of English Literature, looking for texts considered to be un-Islamic. Among those indicted, Ernest Hemingway's The Sun Also Rises because it contains a variety of sexual experiences. Alexander Pope's classic poem, The Rape of the Lock, for its title alone, and Jonathan Swift's great satire, Gulliver's Travels, because it contains an image of a gigantic female breast. The head of the Islamic Students Association at the university is all for censorship.
Young minds are chained with the wrong ideas, and if they are put on the wrong path, it will be dangerous for the country and for Islam.
Censorship may be winning on campus, but right next door, in the marketplaces and on the streets of Lahore, secular Pakistan rules the day. Here, it's a free market for clothes and books and ideas. The question is, for how long? With all its internal divisions and a rising tide of Islamic extremism, not to mention its arsenal of nuclear weapons, nightmares about Pakistan are more than just bad dreams. I'm Dave Marish for Nightline in Islamabad.
I'll be back in a moment.
To receive a daily email announcement about each evening's Nightline and a preview of special broadcasts, log on to the Nightline page at abcnews.com.
Is it a marvel of engineering? A triumph of technology? Or a new benchmark of design? Yes. Introducing the new LS from Lexus.
Circuit City's the place for DirecTV. Stop by today and get up to 3 rooms free, including installation and a $50 Circuit City gift card after mail-in rebate when you activate any Total Choice programming package. And right now at Circuit City, make the most of DirecTV entertainment when you upgrade any receiver to DirecTV DVR with TiVo for just $99.99. Circuit City, we're with you.
Owning the road just got a lot more affordable.
Subaru, driven by what's inside.
Diamonds, the gift she really wants. The Jewelry Exchange has thousands of diamonds, most with GIA or EGL certs, laser inscribed and guaranteed the lowest price. The Jewelry Exchange has thousands of mountings, and your diamond is set while you wait. 1-carat solitaires are $5.99. Marquise solitaires are $3.99, and 1-carat studs are $3.99. The Jewelry Exchange carries most shapes and sizes, including 5 carats and above. You can't beat our deals. Buy factory direct and save. The Jewelry Exchange in Renton.
14 years ago, we started Rainier Automotive Group. Bury Nissan was our first store. And I was just a young man that had a dream. And 14 years later, we now have four dealerships, including Eastside Subaru, Eastside Hyundai, and Auburn Nissan. Basically, we can tailor fit anybody's needs. And that means from the best credit rating you could possibly have to good people with credit challenges. All of our vehicles at all locations offer lifetime oil changes on every new vehicle we sell. At Rainier Automotive Group, we guarantee to make you smile.
And that's our report for tonight. I'm Ted Koppel in Washington. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.